the discussion board for Unit 5. So in Unit 5, you need to use the investment calculator that's in the discussion question itself. So this isn't a calculation you should be doing by hand or something you should be attempting in a regular scientific calculator. You need to use the link provided. And so in that calculator, you want to pick an amount between 100 and 500 that you feel like you could afford to save each month for retirement. So if you're, new in your career and you're not really at a point where you can confidently save, you can always put the number that you would like to have saved. Once you put that in, you need to figure out how many years until you reach 67. So take 67 and subtract your age. Enter that into the calculator. Then you're going to choose an interest rate between 1% and 7%. A little bit of context on that. Most of our interest rates for savings are on the very low end for return on investment, between 1 and 4%. So if you're wanting to see a number that is pretty realistic, you would want to stick to the lower end of that percentage spectrum. Then what you're going to do is you're going to get that number, and that will be how much money you would have saved if you put away that amount of money for the next however many years until you're 67. What we do now is called the hindsight. So had you 10 years ago decided to use this exact same savings plan, how much money would you have had if you did it for 10 extra years? So whatever you input for how many years, just add 10 to it and rerun that calculation. Then you're going to write up your findings. So you're going to let us know how much did you choose to save each month, how many years until you're 67, what interest rate did you use, and what did you find for both situations. The first one being if you started saving right now, the second one being if you started saving 10 years ago. So really, you're just giving us the background information in the first part for the calculation you did. And then just quickly answer, did the results surprise you? Sometimes it's really surprising how much money we can have at the end of saving over time with the way interest compounds. And then the second question is just, do you think you have enough to retire on? And that could differ from person to person. But, just looking at that amount, do you think it's livable for your retirement? Then you're going to respond to your peers. And so for your peers, you are going to input the total amount that would have been saved by investing 10 years from your classmates' post. So adding 10 years to their post. You're going to then use the same interest rate that the classmate chose and the number of years from now until the classmate turned 67. So basically, you're just rerunning the calculations they already did, and you're making sure that the information you got matches it. Once you basically verify that calculation, you're going to put in your post, what did you put in the calculator? So what was the total amount it gave you saved? What was the interest rate you used? What was the number of years you used? What amount should your classmates save each month to reach their goal? And then, has doing these calculations inspired you to think any more about saving or interest rates or even loans? So we're really just looking for, are you getting interested in being an active participant and thinking about things like savings and loans in your own personal life? The third post, you're going to reply to anyone in the discussion board that seems interesting, and you're just going to answer those questions. Do you currently have a retirement plan? That's kind of a yes or no. We don't need to know how much, what, anything. Just, yes, I'm familiar with a retirement plan because I have one. And then how would you determine how much money is needed for you to retire on? So how would you set that goal and determine what you need? And then thinking about Social Security, maybe take a quick Google on the history of it and see if it was meant to be the only money that you use when you retire. And then just share, did you do a resource with this week? So this week is really focused on personalizing the concepts and thinking about finances in terms of savings.